Welcome guys, welcome. We're back with Dwarf Fortress and we're going to start yet again. I actually was thinking about it. I'm already bored with the one that we started the other day, and the reason for that is that we're in a calm location, and that means we're not going to be too challenged, I guess. So I'm sort of thinking I'm going to go back to the evil island setting. Before I start all that, I might just sort of go through I guess the sorts of things that, like the setups and stuff like that, that we're going to be sort of doing. So before we even get started, there are a couple of mods that, if I go into here, there is actually this Justice mod. If I click on it, it's not going to actually get rid of it there. I'm going to have to do that when I go into the game setup. I can see that it's been updated a few times since I first installed it. So I will actually go back and reset this one up. I think like this is just one of the little helper mods. There was also there was a mod which I'll wait until I do another start maybe. Anyway, let's just go back through a few little things. First of all, if you are interested, I always forget to do plugs for my own stuff. This is my shop. It's just shop.daztactic.com, and so there's there's a Dwarf Fortress t-shirt here, as well as a Dwarf Fortress hoodie there as well, with the thumbnail sketches that I'd done a little while back for one of the runs that I did. Like it was an interesting run actually. It was good fun, and so I did the actual like illustrations for every little episode, which was and then I just got the best of those illustrations and put them on the shirt, which came up really, really nicely actually. So this is essentially from the thumbnail illustrations. So if you don't know, I'm a graphic designer / illustrator. That's my actual day job. So and I'm using one of the thumbnails, which one is it? I can't see it there actually. Maybe I didn't use it on this particular one, where there's where they set up the military. No, I mustn't have it there. Anyway, that's okay. We don't have to have it on everything. But anyway, I thought I'd just show that just in case you are interested. So that's these Dwarf Fortress shirts and stuff that I'd done based on my illustrations. Right, there we go. Now, the other one that we have is probably the most important one from your perspective. I always forget to do little plugs. Actually, that's the other thing too. If you're watching this and you're wanting to watch, catch up if you miss any of the episodes, it's going to be on my new channel, which is youtube.com /@DazTacticLive, which is where my extended live streams are now going to be starting to live. So that's sort of where it is. There's going to be playlists and things in through there as well. So I'm putting it all still in the same playlist that I had before, called Zombie Dinosaurs. I don't know if I'll split it out. Depends on how big this one actually becomes, I guess. But anyway, in the shop, there are free things you can grab. This is where I put all my mods. So you got the Daz Tactics Dwarf Fortress World Generation settings. This is what we're going to be using to set up the game. So we've got that one through there. And we also have this one here. I would highly recommend that you download as well. This is Dwarf Fortress Work Order Scripts. To get these sorts of things, what you do, and we'll be using them maybe today if we get sort of deep enough into the game. Just put a 0 in there, or if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, you can put any amount in there that you like. I'm not going to stop you, but you can just put a 0 in there and then just get it now. So this is just a really convenient way for me to then put my mods into one place, and and sort of just have it so that people can then just go and grab them and then make use of them. So these are the scripts that I use for just setting up the initial work orders, which is a bit of a pain in the bum sort of doing it. Okay, Zaradin has already redeemed a character. Now we've already got. I'm going to have to honour the names that were there originally. So we've already got our first 7, and I think we now have probably 6 with Zaradin there. Like I've still got some from the other day as well. So we've got a fair few dwarves, but I do hope that we end up with a big influx coming into the fortress fairly soon. All right, anyway, that's just a bit of this is coffee.com /DazTactic. Go to the shop, and then you can sort of pick up these Dwarf Fortressy things as well. Other thing, if you are sort of trying to get into the game, if you're a new player, Dwarf Fortress Wiki is your best friend. This is actually just got so many different things. If you've got any questions about the game, quite often you'll be able to just put it in the search up through here and actually find information on all sorts of stuff. It's actually a really incredible resource, amazing resource. So it's just so well curated and so well done, and the information here is top notch, and it's very, very much up to date. Okay, let's get into it. We're going to go back into here. We're just going to go and click on done there. We're going to go into create new world. So I've actually deleted all my old worlds again. We're just going to start completely from scratch. Now, by default, people play with these. I will just quickly go through, just to make this into almost like a little bit of a tutorial about getting started. By all means, you can do this if you just want like a stock standard game, which I don't want. I want something a bit more aggressive and evil. But in this case, I wouldn't recommend the 100 years, the history length. By default, it really should be 250 years. That should be the default setting for this one through here. So I would be going medium, 250 years, number of civilizations, medium is fine. Sites, medium. Number of beasts, medium is fine. Natural savagery, medium. Real world extinct creatures. This is actually this is now the dinosaurs. So if you are looking for the dinosaurs, you can either have them turned off. They can be isolated in little pockets. Untamed wild to sort of like the highest degree of savagery in the land. So anything that's of high savagery will actually have them. This is a default. Any wilderness can actually have them as well, or domesticated. Now we did play with domesticated. I'm going to turn that off and just go back to any wilderness when we do set up our game. But I've left my settings on the untamed wild, so I will change that to any wilderness. So that means that there will be dinosaurs wandering around ultimately. So Greyman Walking saying that's because they had 20 years to build that wiki. So they certainly have. It's been a great resource for a long period of time, but it is updated every time anything's done. It's just updated. I don't know if that's the actual publisher that's actually heavily involved in that. I wouldn't be surprised. They're a really good company. Anyway, mineral occurrence as well. It's got everywhere. I would bring this one back to sparse. So for me, if I was doing this one, my settings would be this. So that's how I would then play that if I was going to play this. But I'm not going to be playing that one because we have a detailed mode down through here. So the mods in through this other side, what I have is I've got Sizzlin's mod in here, which is installed. If I go back to this one here, that's actually it there. If I just go and place that one across, that should end up, there it is. Sizzlin's Justice HQ. So we're going to play with that mod installed, which will just help with the justice side of things. I haven't tried it yet, but that's actually the one that we're going to then be using. So we'll just go and use that as our actual settings for the mods. So we'll go back to the main menu. In fact, if I go back to the basic options there, this is now the mod settings. If we go back into the basic options into here, and then go to detailed mode, this is what we want. And if you do download the map generation settings and install that, you will then get 3 different map settings at the top here. Fantasyland, Evil Island, and Small and Savage. Now, Fantasyland is what we played last time. We ended up with a calm area, and that just, for me, is going to be a little bit, nothing much there really at all. So with Thunderstock saying, is it minerals? No minerals? Minerals? I don't know what you mean. It's obviously some joke, but I've only just woken up, so I'm not going to be as sharp as I should be. Anyway, Fantasyland was where we started, but I'm going to go to Evil Island, which is a lot more aggressive than the base game, like a hell of a lot more. But also it is more like there's just heaps more stuff, but it's also a lot more aggressive than that Fantasyland setting as well. This one generates evil everywhere, and I just really gravitate to playing in evil biomes. So what I want to do is I want to try to find a reclamation in an evil biome. So I want to reclaim an old fortress, but this time inside something that's haunted. Okay, so Zoe Thunderstock saying medium instead of minimal minerals is silly. Medium, it's not sure. Still not sure. We're not with you there, Zoe. I don't know if if it's a joke or it's a statement. But I really am. I'm not with it at the moment. Graham Walking saying it's a play on words based on the settings for minerals you showed. Okay, right. Sorry, it is a joke. I'm just not understanding it. Min for minimal, med for medium. Right, okay, there we go. Sorry. That's me, it's me. I'm just not with it. Anyway, let's get into it. What we're going to do is we're going to change the basic settings in here. You can change any of these settings for anything that you like. And we'll just go back down. We're looking for where it's got the settings for the settings for the dinosaurs, and we're just going to go and change that. A lot of this is to do with map generation and how that sort of then works. This is the savagery, and so I've sort of got it like where it's savagery is weighted, very highly in the more savage sort of areas in this particular setting. I think that's how I've sort of set that one up. We're looking for real-world extinct creatures. At the moment, the numbers here are 0 to 4, but you can see it's got untamed wilds. If I go and click on that one and put in number 3 and press enter, any wilderness will now be what we have setting in there. So by changing that number, I can also just go and click the plus or the minus to then sort of get what I want through there. But number 2 is untamed wilds. Number 3 is any wilderness. So that's what we're going to end up having. So any wilderness will be actually is that right? So 2, 3, 4. If I go and plus it is then domesticated. But we'll play with any wilderness. This just means that we're going to end up with dinosaurs essentially. Like previously, we had it still set to to only the super savage ones. That's the only thing I need to change in here. Everything else is set to be fairly nasty. So let's just go and create the world and see what we end up getting. And so now it's going to go through and build the world to these settings. The default time frame I have on this one is 300 years. So, but you can always stop it early. One thing you can do is once they actually sort of get started, like it'll then sort of try to go through, place the civilizations and then just sort of rattle through the initial things. You can always pause it if you're sort of wanting to then have a bit of a look around, like, and then just use the WASD keys to have a scroll around. Now, anything that is this brown color, and this is why you're not going to see this on a normal game. It's all going to be green. When you're playing with the settings that I've got, any brown color is going to be a naturally evil location. Haunted, could be sinister, could be terrifying. Terrifying is I would not recommend playing in a terrifying biome at all, ever. It's just way too difficult. And so we've got like a massive forests on this land. Then a whole lot of different areas down the south through here. Yeah, terrifying biomes back down this other side as well. We're seeing like little civilizations already starting up. We've got volcanoes down the south. We're looking for there's a dwarven civilization that started there. There's another dwarven civilization starting there. And there's already a ruin back up that side. So something has already been... now that is just a wilderness. I'm not seeing any evilness close, like all that close to the mountains. We'll see what we end up with, because this is all haunted. It would be ideal if there was a dwarven fortress out through here that actually ends up being destroyed. This one here maybe. Got sinister here. That's good enough. That's good enough for me. Then these are these are calm. So this is actually all very friendly. We don't want to be playing in there. It's too easy. Okay, so let's just continue generating. So I'm looking at this and I'm looking at this. I'm just sort of seeing where the dwarven civilizations are expanding into. This one is doing fairly well. There we go. We've already got a ruin there, right on the edge of that location. So that's already been destroyed. These aren't progressing. The goblins are growing through the forest, through the dark forest there. We've got another ruin down here now. So I'm thinking, oh, hang on, look at all of the ruins in through here. These have all been collapsed. It's still trying to pick itself up, this civilization. There's only the 2 civilizations on this, or the 2 dwarven civilizations. I don't know if this is going to be viable. This is just not kicked on. This group in through here is kicked on very nicely. but we don't actually have enough dwarven civilizations here, I think, for it to be viable. They are stretching out through the world. They've grown fairly well through this little mountain here. Elves are doing well down the south. The humans are doing well through here. They've now got their roads established. Goblins are doing well up through this other side. I always find this an interesting part of the game. Let's pause and have another look around. We may be restarting. Yeah, the dwarves just didn't kick on here at all. They struggled, and there's ruins everywhere. There's... where's the ruin? It's already a goblin hillox. Yeah, the goblin fortress. This has been taken over by goblins. That's why it didn't actually work. And we don't have. We've got a fortress up there, Chamber Inc. But it's not actually. It looks like a ruin. So we've got a ruin there. We've got got a number of ruins down this way. But it's not. There's a sinister ruin. There's a couple of them there. This is Dwarven Mountain Halls, actually. It's just wilderness in that one. I don't know. There's a sinister right there. And haunted. Maybe we'll just keep on playing and just see if this actually becomes viable. It's sort of exactly what I'm looking for. It's just that I'm worried that the civilization is just going to be so minimal on this world. And I don't want to have what happened last time. When we have a look at it, it looks like most of this has been destroyed. Hang on. Goblin Fortress, already been taken over by goblins. Dwarven Fortress there. Goblin, no, this is no good. Okay, so we'll go back to the main menu. And we'll start again because this world is just not going to work. So Itchy Trigger Finger is saying, "Hey Daz, big fan here. Been watching your YouTube content for a few years now. Thank you for that. All right, let's go and create a new world. So again, we're going to be going in and going into just go back to mods again, and just make sure that is the one that we have. Actually, that one there should be. It says it's installed. I'll just go and throw that in there. It should only be the one. I'm only seeing the one down through there anyway. If I go and throw it back out there, no, I definitely want that in there. All right, so let's just go back in and we'll now just go to the basic options, detailed mode, Daz Evil Island, and then we'll just go down to where those beasts are. Where was it? Have I already gone past it? I can just look at it through here. If I see Untamed Wilds, there we go. Any wilderness, right, we could do that one and we'll just go and create the world. So we'll start again. Okay, so 6% saying I've got 2 Spinosaurs that have destroyed 8 forgotten beasts. Wow. Only 30 dwarves, so I'm thankful for them. All right, so now it's creating the world again. Let's just see where we end up with the dwarven territories. Again, the brown is the evil. I'm not seeing any dwarven. There's a dwarven fortress down through there, and they have moved out here a little bit. If we don't end up with viable like civilizations, it's sort of not really going to work. Let's just sort of go for a little bit longer, and then we'll have a bit of an evaluation as to where things are. If the goblins are just too aggressive, we end up with like the situation that we had last time, where we just basically don't get to move forward. Pause here and have a bit of a look around the map. So, there we go. We've got a lot of dwarven civilizations through here. these are dwarven fortresses. I don't. As long as we've got one secure secure location, we're doing okay. Now we've got dwarven hillocks back in through there, and then some of these are actually in sinister locations. So that's calm, but that's sinister there. Again, I'm now looking for where they get destroyed. This one looks very, very secure. This particular location there. There's a group of dwarves sort of have made their way out into the plains and the hills, and they're sort of around the edge of this haunted grassland. Down here we have a fortress which has been destroyed, but it's only in wilderness. We do have a dwarven group down this way, but there's nothing much really sort of crashing around in there. I'm not seeing, this one may also not be the best location simply because we've got a dwarven fortress there, which is just in wilderness. It didn't really expand, so I'm not sure what's happened there. I mean, it may be part of this big group. We have a few different, let's just see what happens and see if any of these can collapse into being ruins inside a haunted location. That's really what I'm looking for. Is a ruined fortress, potentially over here as well. If any of these fail, but I need it to be in this sort of evil areas. Just on the edge of the evil. Funny, I'm not noticing any necromancer towers. Humans are sort of settling out through here. They're building their roads, building their canals and stuff as well. So they're building up. Where is a necromancer tower? I'm not seeing any. This is taking a fair bit of time, this generation. I'm not super convinced just because of there's evil around, but it's just not actually, it's not where the dwarves are. That's our best chance if that one fails. It's destroyed by something, but it's a bit of a long shot. Let me just pause again, just so we don't waste too much time. Is this viable? Is this viable? There's one there, but it's only in wilderness. It's just so that's a ruin there. Nothing's been ruined inside the haunted locations here. There's a goblin fort there. There's a necromancer tower there. So I don't think this is going to give us what we want. There's ruins all the way through here. These have all been destroyed by something. But everything that's actually inside a haunted location hasn't collapsed in a heap. So they've only got the two groups as well. And that there is, this is a haunted location here, but they just didn't quite go far enough. I think we go back again, sorry guys. We'll give it one more shot. And I think we'll sort of try to make use of whatever this next one is. We'll maybe have a bit of a look at the start to see if there's enough evil next to the mountains that the dwarves will then sort of go and settle into. They'll sort of settle in mountains and hills. So we'll just go back to the main menu, create new world. Just make sure the mods are installed. If I go to create world, I think it. No, which is not what I want. Hang on. It's now just going to do the basic creation, which is not what I'm looking for. I have to stop it now. Okay, pause. And I might just actually, maybe I will just quickly sort of show you. The basic game has it has things sort of spread out all over the place. So the actual map is full of islands, which you can't really play on. So it ends up becoming a bit more. I like to have like the landmass more connected than what the base game has got, because you can end up with whole big unplayable areas if you do play with the base game. You can sort of see how much more water there is around the place. Anyway, let's go back to the main menu. Create new world. Right, this time we're going to go back to mods. We're going to install this Justice mod. You have to sort of install them before you start the actual creation. Basic options. Now we go to detailed mode. We then go to Evil Island, Daz Evil Island. We go down until we find Untamed Wilds and change that to any wilderness. We then get started. We create the world based on these evil settings. So Cygnus is saying, so you like it hard, just not impossible. Yes, for me, I like a challenge, like a big challenge with this. Now, we're not seeing any dwarven civilizations here. This is ideal. This is all evil, all the way through here. But there's no dwarves that have settled in here. Let's pause and have a quick look and see if we can find where the dwarves are. Oh my God! It's a group where the dwarves have been killed off before we even get started. There's a goblin fortress there, so that's been taken over by the goblins. This is not viable at all. We start yet again. Wow. Okay. So when we started, these are hillocks that got destroyed straight away. This is so the history of this world is that the dwarves were decimated from the very, very start. There's a dwarven fortress there, but it hasn't expanded anywhere. So that is not going to work. Not going to work at all. Hi, Beacon. How are you going? Is there still a beacon, or do I need a new one? I think that you've already claimed one from last time. I'm honouring all the ones from last time, so there's already a long group. I'm pretty sure you're one of those. One of what will be the second wave of people coming in. I can't play this map. Sorry, guys. So we're back again to the main menu again. Just go into create new world mods. Throw that mod in. Basic options, detailed mode, Daz Evil Island, find the Untamed Wilds and change them just to wilderness, and then create world. Here we go again. Begin saying, hope you're feeling better. You sound better. Yeah, I just had a blocked nose. I actually I still got it a little bit, but not yet. And my throat's certainly better. Thank you. But I wasn't feeling sick at all. Now, come on, dwarves. Do we have? Yeah, so some of these are failing, these actual generations. Not enough evil there. Dwarves are starting off down through here. There's a little bit of evil there. This has already been destroyed all the way through here. There's goblins in amongst the dwarves. That's going to really hinder what's happening there. But the humans and the dwarves seem to be destroying the goblins. But there are ruins, but they're not in a location. Let's just pause this one and see if this is viable for us. We'll get what we want eventually. It just takes time. No dwarven civilization out through there. Oh, this is still crappy. This is still no good. These are all mountain halls that were destroyed again. We've got a group in through here that is expanding, and we do actually have fortresses, but no evilness. I'm going to do one more start. This is, again, only going to have like one civilization that's going to be of any strength at all, but there's already goblins. There's goblin pits in through here. This dark pits has gone into being a ruin. Yeah, and it's just not evil. Okay, one more time. Sorry, guys. I should have generated this before I started actually recording. So, create new world mods. Throw that mod in, the Justice mod. Go back to basic options. Go to detailed mode. Daz Evil Island, and create world. Here we go. This time. Hi, orangutans, how are you going? So what we're looking for is we're looking for a haunted location near mountains, and we'll watch and see when the yes, this is now sort of starting. It's all evil through here. That looks interesting, and there's a dwarven civilization already collapsing, and there's dwarves down here as well. There's a dwarf location there. Maybe there's dwarves out through here as well, but no, there's no evilness. There's a little bit of evil in there. All right, let's hope that we get this dwarven through these hills. There's some evil stuff. There's a necromancer tower right here. This could be fun anyway, actually. If we can find a ruin in here somewhere, this will be pretty good, even if it's not actually haunted. It's still going to be aggressive. I'm liking what I'm seeing here already. I'm just going to go with this one no matter what. That one's right on the edge of it being haunted, and it has actually collapsed. We've got dwarves out through this side as well, but none of these have actually gone into ruin. This one here is in the evil location. That could end up being something that would be fun. Okay, we're up to year 186 already. Wow, look at the elves. Got elves there. We do have some goblins along here. This is goblin pits and stuff in the south. We've got dwarven hillocks everywhere. The dwarves look like they've done very, very well in this particular setting. We've got all these volcanoes, which are all up in the frozen north. And we haven't looked at anything other than just... And look at the dwarves. They're going out into this forest. They've really extended out through the hills here. But none of these have become... There's a ruin there, which may be in an evil location. Yeah, we'll have a look at this one. This one looks good. I'm liking the look of this one. Yeah, where's the fortresses? There's still a fortress up there, fortress there. There's been collapses down in through here. There's another fortress there. These fortresses haven't really grown, so I'm guessing they may have been taken over by goblins. But this looked like it was fairly healthy. There's another necromancer tower there now as well. So we've got two necromancer towers really close to all of this stuff, which is good. We've got lots of ruins running up through here as well. We have now ruins out through this other side near the volcanoes. Year 240, which is good. Yeah, elves are taking over the world on this one. Yes, they are. It's out through this forest here anyway. So the elves are a bit rampant. Humans are sort of taking the central areas. Goblins aren't as prevalent, but they will be. They'll be around somewhere. And still not really seeing too many ruins. Oh, there's a ruin there which may be inside an evil location. It's not very close to the necromancer towers though, unfortunately. We'll see how we go. Got a road going from the humans up through to the dwarven hillocks back up this other side. It looks like they've had a hard time through here, so the civilization may not be as super strong as it appears. There's certainly been a lot of destruction of their hillocks and their mountain homes. More ruins down this way as well, but it's not in an evil location. But it looks good, this particular world. Tank saying hopefully that will keep the goblins in check and keep healthy dwarven civilizations. I mean, if the elves are this strong. The elves are incredible. Oh, there's a necromancer tower right there. In amongst the elves. We end up with zombie elves. Okay, so we're going to keep we're going to play now straight away into it. So we're just going to start off. First of all, the first thing we're going to be doing is exporting out the legends, just so we can actually go back and look at the history, because history is important. I like the look of this world already without even looking at it. So it's already grabbed my imagination. So if I don't do this, like if I don't do it like as soon as I start to play in Fortress mode, it's then difficult for me to then export the legends out. So I'm better off getting a group of legends exported out right before we even start playing, and then we just use them to look at the back history, which is pretty cool. I might even sort of like, I'm in no screaming rush, so I might just spend a bit of time. So I need to go into Legends mode here. So I'm just going to go into the Legends mode down through this other side. And as long as DF hack is running, DF hack is then going to have like this little thing saying also export DF hack extended legends data is on. So it's going to be exporting out beyond the normal export. So I'm now going to click on export XML, and it's now going to take a long time to export all of the history that was generated. So we're now going to have access to all the historical creatures and figures and so on and so forth. We might even open that up as well, just so we've actually got that one running, just so you can sort of see see what goes on with that as well, with the with all the different bits and pieces. I haven't had a look for a little while to see if there's a better version of the Legends viewers. I don't know if any of you guys have. If you have, Mark Davies is saying starting again and again. Yes, yeah. It was the last one. We were in a calm location, and I was just thinking, this is just going to be. We're just going to plod along. It's just going to be a standard Dwarf Fortress run, and I just wasn't really happy with that. I do like to have challenges, and I like to have the, of course, deaths and destruction and bannings that do go on with the for anyone who does have a named dwarf. Oh, thank you for those gifted subs up the top there, Beacon. That's much appreciated. All right, so we've got the so the extended legend data is on up through here. That's now still exporting, so it's done the first one. Now we're done. We can now go back out of here. We can look at things from here as well. You can see that it's got like 48,000 historical figures, 1,000 sites, artifacts, etc., etc. There's all sorts of different things. Even the civilizations and other entities. We can have a look at all the different civilizations that exist in the world, or even existed in the world. There's a lot of them. Anyway, we're not going to worry about those. We're just going to go click on Done. It's easier to look at those through a well, here we go. So Kujigram saying that Daz, are you aware Quasimorph is leaving early access on the 31st? I've been watching it. I didn't know the date, but I've been watching the development very, very keenly. And I've almost streamed it a few times. So I'm thinking that will be another extended stream that I put into my Daz Tactic Live YouTube channel, like rather than playing it on the... I'll probably do an intro in my normal channel and then actually do a longer run there. So Mark is then saying, got any tips for trying to restore a failing dwarven kingdom? If it's failed, it's no good. So essentially, you just if you've got a big enough fortress, like if you've got like more than say 70 dwarves in your own fortress, you're probably viable to keep on going. But if you got less than that and you have no civilization, I'd just ditch it and start again. It's sort of it becomes too difficult otherwise. All right, one thing you can do, if you've got other civilizations around that not of your civilization, you can actually send your fortress into and basically abandon it, and then go and join another civilization, and then go back and resettle it. So you can do that. So that's one way around it. So that way you end up with the support of a major civilization around you. Now, before I do this, what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to go and have a quick look. Again, guys, I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to go across and have a look for Dwarf Fortress. Dwarf Fortress Legends Viewer. So this is what we're looking for. So this is from 1 year ago. That means that the one I've got, so Legends Viewer next, major update. There's nothing much that's really happened in recent times. This is from the Dwarf Fortress wiki. Yeah, this is all old. Okay, that means that the version I've got is probably going to be good enough. So let's just let's go and open that up. Downloads, games, Dwarf Fortress. Not sure if it's going to be under mods. I probably would have put it under here. Legends Viewer. And so we've got Legends Viewer here. I'm just going to go and run this one here. And now what I can do is I'll just delete these old ones, delete bookmark. And then I'll just get this one cleaned up to a position where I've just got the new stuff. That one should be done as well. Come on. Yep, I'll just go and delete that bookmark as well and just refresh. So we're going to explore a new world. So we just go to select, and it then needs to know where to look. And so the export that I've just done is this one here, Region 1. The year 300 0101 Legends. This is the XML. I'm just going to go and click on that one and load in the world. So this is now going to load in a bookmark for this particular world, which will then just have the legends available to us as we do it. There we go. So the Windy Domain. So we can actually now sort of explore this world if we need to find anything else out. So, maybe I'll just quickly show you this. If we just explore this one. So when it first comes in, we have a breakdown of the different groups. This is the goblins. So there's 128,000 goblins in the world. There's 58,000 humans. There's 30,000 elves. And there's 14,000 dwarves. This is healthy. This is a healthy number, which is actually great. This is the regions of the world. Then these are the active civilizations. So these are the dwarven civilizations, and we can sort of see through here the numbers, and these are all very, very good, except for these. So we wouldn't be wanting to go with any of these sorts of groups. Hang on, that's an elvish civilization. No, that's the elves. Okay, forget that. There's they've got different druids and stuff like that. So then they've got the goblins. So this is all the different civilizations. We can actually have a look at any of these that we wanted to. So we've already got four dwarven civilizations. All of them very, very viable. Different kings and queens. This is a great, great location. I love it. I love it. So that's just a legend viewer. We're going to sort of see that anyway when we get into the game. Let's go back to this one, and we're now going to play Fortress mode. And so what we're looking for here now is going to be a fortress ruin in a haunted or any sort of haunted location. All right, so Itchy Trigger Finger is saying, as off topic, but curious if you ever use Fantastical to score game bundles. No, I don't know that one. Sorry, I use Humble Bundle, but only really for books. I don't really use that for games as such. I mean, most of the games I get are directly from developers. So developers actually, I get like every day I'll get like offered a lot of different games to try out, and I don't play that many of them simply because I just don't have time. So, but I get offered a lot, and some of them are really are really good fits for the channel, but other ones just aren't as well. Like I get like a lot of bullet hell type games, which I'm just not good at. So I don't know why people send me those games anyway, or the actual publishers. Now we've got a few different things. Let's have a bit of a look through the actual world. What we're looking at through this other side. We've got a necromancer tower there, human tower. So this is Inch Sinews is this particular tower. This is getting close up to where we are at the top through here. We saw there before that the civilizations, if I go and choose the origin civilization, I've got those 4 there with big populations. This bottom one has got 3,200, 1,800. Okay, so that's down in the south. Where was this one? This is sort of where we want to be. This is where we're looking at those elves before. This one here, 4,700 again. Oh, that's very viable. That's very viable. They've extended out across here a little bit as well. Okay, they've actually taken over goblin territory. So they're in control of goblins. So what we'll find here is, because this history has been going on for so long, there's going to be goblins as part of the civilization. Like it's not sort of like, the groups become integrated. They're not considered to be sort of like, it's not like in Tolkien where if you find an orc, you basically it's the enemy. In this case, they sort of are. They're treated with suspicion, but they're not necessarily the enemy. And if you take over a location, you end up with them working for you. Similarly, if the goblins take over a dwarven location, there'll still be dwarves working for them at that location. And the Fence of Drinks has got 2,000. These are all viable. Fence of Drinks is right sort of in this location. Lots of ruins in through here. So we can pretty much go, I might just go with whatever the biggest one is, the Vault of Ivy. This one's got lots of goblins in it as well. Let's try this. Let's go this one. We've got Queen Lolor. What's the other one through here? This one here is really just extended away on its own. It doesn't matter which one we have. It's only 1,800 there, and then this one here is 3,200. This one I like the look of it. The Unseen Relic. I think I like the name. And we have 45 sites. So this is actually not a bad location at all. I'm just not finding a fortress anywhere. This is, but then it should do the fortress. Is that a fortress? No, it's still not, even that's not a fortress. We've just got lots of mountain homes, but no fortresses. So the fortresses have been lost. So it's just a group of a lot of sites spread out across the world. Let's just go and choose that one for now. And if we go and just right click, just come back into it. If we go back, this is a Helix in that's only a wilderness, unfortunately. I'm just looking now for things where, if we go back to reclaim, there's only 2 that we can actually do. There's one up through here, and so there's only 2 ruins. Reclaim Bridigath, or we have this one here as well, which is on the edge of being evil. Reclaim, this is Coopervod, Lance Sounded. Rock has flown in and destroyed it. What destroyed this one here? The early spring of 31, the Forgotten Beast, Misog Hogmux. Okay, came in and destroyed it as well. If we go back, I don't think if we choose other things, we don't. I don't think we get like a different group. It's still the same one, no matter which way we go. Well, let's just go that group there. Yeah, I don't know about the claiming that. See, if we go into an actual, because these are all ruins down through here as well. I don't know why we can't reclaim some of these other ones. If I just right-click and have a bit of a look at these. So that's a fortress there, but it has been sort of destroyed. Now that's haunted there. If we go and settle that one, we can't play inside this one. And we end up not being able to really go into it. There's a lot of good stuff in here, though. Oh, what do we do? Do we just find a location and just build a standard fortress? Because neither of those fortresses, I don't think, are going to be... If we just go and right-click... One of them was... where was the other one? There's that one there. And then there was... We'll have a look at both of these. And just have a look to see. This one here is calm. I don't want calm. Calm is friendly. And where was the other one? That one there on the corner. That's wilderness. It's wilderness. Okay. Where are we? Sorry, we've got Orangutan saying, is there a dwarf hack thing for Embark Anywhere? Not sure how it works with these kind of sites. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. There probably is. I think there is a, but you can't. I don't think. Even with that, I don't think you can actually embark in like a red zone. I don't think you can start off in one of those. Like if I go there. So this is actually the mountain halls, but that's the fortress. This is Lance Sounded. But so it can claim that. It's right next to Haunted. It does have Haunted on one edge. Maybe that's good enough, you know? Like maybe it's good enough. We've got wilderness all the way around it, except for one little location, which will be Haunted. And so we have we do have this temperate scrubland on the side there. Maybe that will still be good. Is this a new game, says Tails? It is, but you're already in this one. I'm honouring what we did last time. So you're actually already part of the original dwarves that are going to be going through. All right, so I think we claim this little fortress. It's on the edge of a haunted shrubland. We're inside just a cold mountain with no trees. There is woodland in here, but we don't really get to play with that. I think we'll claim that one there. So we've already chosen our civilization. That's fine. We'll go with that one there, and we'll just go and reclaim Lance Sounded. Let's just go and do this one. And I will set this one up with a military group. So I'll just go in with the standard military. So I'll do a reclaim. And so I've got some things that I've just built up where I've just prepared for the journey carefully and just got 3 military people. I'll bring them in because we do have a little bit of haunted stuff on the side. Enemies will change to hard. Economy will play on normal. Won't customize the settings, I don't think. The basic military, because we can always come back and change this whenever we feel like it, which is good. Let's go to this setting. Now, no white stalk leather backpacks were available. That's the only thing we actually had. Okay, that's the only notice that we actually had. So we should have about, it says 0 skill picks left. That's okay. Items, how much? We got 30 points. This is the backpack. So we need to get 3 backpacks, and then we're sort of ready to go. So let's just go down to the backpacks, which are, where are they? Backpacks, there we go. And so I just need to get 3 of them. I've got some dinosaur. Thylacine leather backpacks, that'll do us. Just get 3 of those. No more points left. The animals, because we're going into sort of like a semi-dangerous location, I've got turkeys, but I actually don't need this. I mean, I like having turkeys because you can get leather from them. We don't have the problems of it being an animating biome, so we could go back and get ourselves a dog, like a couple of dogs. If we just go back to the items, what don't we need? Let's go and reduce this to 31. I always like to just get 1 extra of these, because what that does is it means that if you I forget how much a barrel holds. So let's just say it holds 20 drinks. 21 gives you 2 free barrels. So it's just a cheaty way to do things. Animals. Now we've got 36 points left. These cost, a hunting dog is 31, but just a dog is 16. So I can go with a male dog and a female dog. We've still got 4 points left over. Let's do that. That way they can have puppies. Now, what about a cat? Cats are 11. I've got 4 left. Cats are useful as well. Cats are fun. It's the only animal. I love what they've done with cats. If you're unaware of what actually happens with in Dwarf Fortress, every animal can be given to a dwarf as a pet. So I can say, okay, look, here's an animal, make it a pet. Cats are the opposite. They decide which dwarf they're going to have as their pet. I love that aspect. I mean, I love cats, so it's sort of one of those things. But these cats are useful in the fortress. Again, they're 22 points. We've got 4 points. Let's just go back to items again. Have a bit of a look to see if there's anything else we really want to get rid of. Maybe some of these sorts of things as well. Now that gives me, I want to get to 22. There we go. Let's just go and get a pair of cats as well. So we'll go with a male cat, a female cat. That'll do us, because we don't have to worry about them coming back to life. So, so orangutan saying, why did the dinos go extinct? Because they're hunted to extinction for backpacks and other apparel. Maybe. All right, let's keep on going. So, Tails, I'll have to give you back. You'll have to re-redeem what you've got there. So that will do us. Now, we'll just go into the fortress name. We can't really change the name, so that is already set. So Lance Sounded is the one that we're going back into. So we're just going to click on Done. The group name is the Boat of Jumping. Let's go for random. The Crowded Volcano. The Jade Bodices. The Chamber of Jails. That sounds fun. I like that one. So we'll go with that as our group name. The group symbol I won't worry about. Problems, Save Profile, Embark. So we'll just go and embark with this particular group. A Dwarven outpost has arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended. Your party of 7 is to make the outpost in through here, and before the Andrew Sarkis get hungry. No idea what that is. Some sort of... I'm just going to pause. I don't know why it didn't start paused already. Got a few units outside. Can't actually do anything. So we are now breaking into this existing fortress. Now this is not going to be any good to us. So we've got one eagle. I've set this up so we've got everything sort of showing through here. We've got one eagle flying in. If we have a bit of a look around, this bottom corner is a different location. This is actually a haunted biome only in this bottom corner. Everything else is just wilderness, but there's no trees. When we have a look at the fortress itself, we've got we've got a trade depot through here made from alabaster, and then we have this. This is always a central area. What's interesting about this one is that there's no, like in the previous one that we played, we had a tavern at the top. We don't have that in this particular run. Now, I never like these big open pits. This is like a down arrow that sort of then it winds down through the depth of the actual of the fortress. So this is how it sort of came back in, and then this was then opened up. This is where we have to get our trees from. So they've come into this location. They've blocked all this off, but then they haven't continued on. Now, this is interesting again. In the last one we had a look at it, we saw that the road extended off to the east. This one goes to the south because the civilizations we're in the northern end of where there's been an underground road leading through to the various other civilizations. So this one was part of this particular dwarven civilization through here, and we're sort of now heading down that way. So that's why that road is there. Again, I love just the detail in this game. It is unbelievable. So that road extends off the map. Now we'll need to, this is actually an access point, and things can come through here. So we're going to need to ultimately block that off. We do have a big extended area out through here again as well, which is, how big does it go up? I'm looking for choke points. So if I just come back down again, like this is, whoops, hang on, we'll come back up and have a bit of a look. So that chokes off there, but then opens up all the way through here. So it's not ideal. So this is all very, very open. We have a few goodie huts down through here again as well. If we go and click on our digging orders, we can see this one has got water inside it. So when you see a goody hut, that you can see the edges on it, and they always look like this. This one here is flush to the ground, so I can't see what's inside this particular one, but they can either be lava or water or nothing. Sometimes you end up with artifacts, which are extremely useful. So finding them is actually always a good thing. But so just look for these squares, these 3x3 squares with nothing growing on top of them, and you'll find them all over the place, but they like in the caverns. But these will have they'll have gems around the outside, very very valuable gems, and there's a very good chance something good is going to be on the inside there. If you find a lava one, you can actually make use of it and build a forge on top of it. So you can actually make use of the one little pit of lava that's actually inside it. This one we wouldn't know unless we actually dug it out. All right, so that gets to that location. Then it keeps on extending down. There's a hatchway there and another hatchway that opens up here. We can't see everything that's going on. In fact, by having this one turned on, yeah, we can see there that this is damp under here, so it sort of knows it's damp. Oh, we've got a whole lot of stuff in here as well. So there's a whole lot of goodies in this particular fortress. Look at this stuff. So we can just set up straight away in here with all sorts of things. These are all metalsmith forges, so they were doing mining in here in this old fortress. They've got all sorts of goodies down this way as well. Thread, which we can make use of. Great. We'll just extend on down so we go to the next cavern layer by the looks of things, but it's been blocked off. Okay, then we get down into this zone. And again, there could be nasties down in here. And so we'll probably have to do some exploring before we sort of really do too much. So what do we have? Nickel cage. Yeah, different cages. Different equipment here as well. Bronze helmets. Bismuth bronze helmets. Warhammers. Okay, this is great. So we've found a lot of loot in here already, which may have come from the battle. Like this may be of where the battle was fought. So this actually looks like it's all just equipment. Steel greaves. Wow. Wow, there's some great stuff down in here. So we've actually got the makings of a military right from the very, very start, which is fantastic. So, hi, Travors, how you going? So this now extends off the map. So we've got some really good equipment here. If we end up with more military, now it keeps on going back down. Then we've got, this is sort of like other areas. So we can make, we don't even really need to mine much. I'm thinking we actually make use of this stuff right from the start. I just don't like this big central location. That's as far as that goes. Does it go any further that we can see? No, we don't see anything else. So this is really the bottom of the fortress, which is elevation 16. So we're in the hills anyway, so we're going up through the hills. Now it's interesting, this is the next cavern layer, but we don't see the cavern layer. So we don't get to see the cavern, even though it was there at some point. We have this cavern. And we have that one blocking off there. That blocks off to there. That continues blocking that off. I'm looking for ways I can sort of then get things that where I don't have to worry about anything. This here is only one lane, one level high. There's another goody hut there. You got to be careful coming in on the sides of the goody huts because of the actually it's chalk there. Maybe it's not. It does have this has got a little bit of, oh no, it does have a few different bits and pieces there. But that's this one here. This is really the only access point, like where units from this side of the map can wander up these slopes. This is where it gets a bit hard. It's often easy to see it on here. They can wander above the slope, across this other side, over this way, and then down this slope and into the fortress. So they've got complete access in. This is a nice little area, and we're going to need get these areas established. If we go back up through here, we've got another slope this way that extends up. And this one also then breaks through where this one has got, like this is even, that goes up to 2 layers. That's 2 layers high there. So to block off this area, there's 2 layers there. Yeah, there's 2 layers. Unfortunately, there's 2 layers everywhere. Having said that, if I built a group of blocks, if I built a wall through there, it would then, like that's what's sort of above it. That's above it there. No, it's not going to help me. Yes, it will. This is above that location. So if I build there, like on the layer below, that then blocks it off. There's no actual access point if that gets built up. So this, just thinking about the future security, I could do that. This one here is a bit more tricky because it's got 2 layers that we need to be building up. Okay, well, I do want to have my own access point down into this rather than relying on this. The other thing I could do would be to actually build up a the internal stairs here and still just make use of this. That would be a clean way to do it, ultimately, and may lead to dwarves. No, it wouldn't lead to dwarves dying. Of course it wouldn't. All right, so that's sort of where we are. Let's go and name the dwarves. So we've got the first 7 were from previously, so I'll actually just go and get them done. So I'm just going to be going through and sorting by name, and I've got like a list which I'll just go and get that list up. So this is my list of names, and I'll just go and pop that off to the side, and just go and name them in there. So this will be just named per the actual dwarves. So if I just go to name, whoever's in, and so it's just going to do it in alphabetical order. So this will be the order of everyone. So the first one is Dragster. We'll just go back across and Dragster the Miner. All right, name again. So the next one is one of our military. This is going to be Sev. All right, then next one is Alta Buffalo. Alta Buffalo there. Okay, that's fine. That's done. Got name. Next one is Orangutan's Library, the expedition leader. Done. The next one, actually, I want to double check I didn't actually screw anything up, guys. Just bear with me. I may have set up things a bit incorrectly. No, that's okay. Go to OBS. Yep, no, that's okay. I think we're still okay. Somehow I ended up minimizing everything on my screen, and I don't know why or how. Anyway, I'll just leave it there so you can at least see what's going on. So by name again, next one is going to be another military. This is Tail Sly Fox. And I'll get them to search out the fortress, the military. I'll put them to work just doing everything. We're in no screaming rush for anything, actually, so we can start to just do what we have to do in the fortress. So I think I'll actually just move everyone down to the towards the bottom levels and sort of just work with them down there. Tail Slow Fox. Next one across is Private Joe, another military. All right, and the next one we have is the last one, I think, is Sick. Okay, so that's our first group of dwarves. Now, because we're reclaiming a fortress, there's a lot of things, like we're not going to be doing anywhere near as much mining as we would normally be doing, but we need to. So we still need to go in and do stuff. I just don't know whether to start to, like what I'm thinking I'll do is actually I will make sense of this by making a staircase, but I'll need to keep on mining through. Let's just go back, and if we do this one, we can sort of see if there's any aquifers. I don't think there was any aquifers to where we are. So I'm pretty sure we don't have access. Actually, that's one thing we're going to need is access to water. We are going to have to find water. Yeah, we will have to find water. So as we sort of come back through, I'm not seeing any water anywhere on these levels. And as we sort of start to find these different locations, this dense cave moss should mean that there's, and this has all been smoothed, but it's not, it's weird. It's sort of like that, why would they smooth this? I don't know. It's, oh, you know what it is? It's actually I think that this was a passageway between two layers, between two areas. So I'm thinking that we should be able to find the next layer around here somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and set up, this is the way down. I'm just going to go and build off on the side here, I think. Yeah, I'll just start to dig off and search. This is the upward slope, this is the downward slope. Let's just move off into here somewhere and just start to see what we can find. So we'll just do some exploratory mining this way. For the military, we need to just get them set up straight away. So we'll just go and go to the squad sidebar. We need to appoint a militia commander to start with. We go to the nobles, militia commander, click on plus. And no one's got any relevant skills, but we do need to make sure that's one of the peasants. So Sev was the first one in line, so Sev will be the militia commander. So he now is going to ultimately be the person in charge of the military. So if we now go back in and must appoint a militia commander to create a squad. Yep, select a squad or squads. Do come back to that one as well just in a minute. Open the squad sidebar. I'll just close that one again. Must appoint a militia commander to create a squad. We've done that. Oh, there we go. Create new squad. In this case here, we're just going to go to melee metal armor because that's what we've brought. Brought copper. So just going to go and grab this one through here. We're just going to go and change the symbols. So I always like to either have an arrow or a or something that's sort of a bit more military. Let's go with an arrow. And so the symbol color, I'll go with red, like a blood red. And for the background, we'll just choose like a bronzy sort of color, I guess. There we go. The artifacts of adventure. I'll just go and click on done. The naming of the squad. So this is the squad's name. Again, we can just go with random stuff. The artifacts of adventure. Let's just go and get some randoms. The mysterious corridors. Yep, that sort of works. That'll do. Done. And then we've just got the one squad member. So we now go into the units. So Sev is number 1. Number 2 is going to be the other 2 peasants. So Tail Sly Fox and Private Joe. So these are, they're both, this is now the military. So we've got back to squads. And we'll just go back with that one. What we're going to do is we're going to go back down and start to have a look around. So we're going to send this group down to the bottom of the fortress. So we'll just go and find where was the first area. So we start off in here, come back down. We've got this area through here. We don't need to really go and test that out. What I might do is just start to chop down some trees. So while we're here, just get rid of those 3 trees there. Maybe a few more. Just get a few of those chopped down. If we go to the next layer up, you're not going to see much up this way. That's okay. We'll just leave that where that is. Oh, there's one there. Chop that down as well. So we got some wood right from the very, very start. Okay, this is now the bottom of the fortress where I'm going to be wanting to have the military just go and explore the extent. I'll just come back up again. That seems to be the first actual area of the fortress that we actually get to, is just below this road. So we may even just leave everything the way it is at the top and start to sort of work our way. We're building down into here. There's no reason for us not to continue on doing that. Somehow we get across into this other side. How do we do that? So I'm just going to go and claim stuff. I won't bother claiming any of this stuff. These are all display cabinets. This is actually pretty cool. God, there's a lot of good stuff down in here. Now, once we get down into this point here, we do lose sight of different stuff. Let's just go back and reclaim the doors. I won't claim the actual items just yet. And so what I can do is I know that the dwarves can actually come down into here and then walk their way through. So let's go and tell this squad that their job is to station themselves here. So let's just see what happens when they actually get down to this location. In the meantime, let's make use of this nice little area off to the side of the road. So we'll start by building things, for example, like some we'll start planting things. So we'll get some stuff actually in through here. We'll get the animals down this way as well. But let's make this into our farm. Just initially, we don't have to keep it there for the long haul, but if we just go and minimize the squad layer. If we so if we come back into, we're not going to do harvesting. I could harvest these sorts of things. There are some plump helmets and stuff that we can actually then go and get, dimple cups. So there's things we can find down in here anyway. But this is already a nice little start for us. So we go down into structures, workshops. In this case, we're going to be going to the farming. Farm plot, click a tile to be the corner of the farm plot. So we'll make them into little 3x2s. I don't need a hell of a lot. I can just go into there as well. So I'll just make, say, two farm plots initially. That'll do us. And so that will just be the first farm plots that we have. And while we're here as well, I'm just going to go down and bring the animals downstairs as well. So we'll bring them down into this location. So we'll go and get pen and pasture for the zone. And I'll just move them out into this location here. So not a very big location. Except... And for the actual, animals, I'm just going to go and assign the two that are there. Now, also got the turkeys. I might bring all of them down as well. I'm going to the cats and dogs. I would like to try to keep them out of mischief. So, but I think I'm just going to leave them to wander around at this point in time. It's not as dangerous as many of the other starts that we end up having. All right, so that gets who doesn't have jobs. We need to really get mining heavily, and we do actually have we have one more piece of mining equipment. So I think I'll set up. I will be wanting to go in and actually start to mine different locations. All right, so I like how it's a different layout than the previous one that we had. Again, it's been purposely built to actually accommodate the the security of this fortress, which is good, which is actually really quite nice. So we need to get building materials to be able to then secure like the actual fortress itself that we actually have through here. So I do want to actually sort of go and get all of this nice and secure, pretty much as a matter of priority, and that's going to mean a lot of doing different mining and stuff like this as well. So I'll come back down. We'll test. I don't know how to get to this. We haven't been able to find the way through here yet. I'm assuming we'll find it, but there may be other areas that we just haven't seen in here. If we keep on going down, what else do we have? We get this location here. We don't get to see much else around here. All right, so the military have got a little bit to do. Let's just go and unhook things. Actually, one thing we might do is to secure the top of the fortress as well. Let's just go back and press F1, which is where we start. So the entrance for the fortress is up here. Okay, I'm going to start pulling apart stuff in the fortress. So I'm just going to go and tell them to go and start to take up some of the blocks that are just on the surface up through here. So let's just go and go into the this digging mode and then designate construction floors and etc. to be removed. So I can actually just go and I might just go and create like an area, and in fact it could end up being that we end up with a growing area again. Let's just go and make a corner here where we just go and grab all the blocks from in here. That's going to be building materials for us. One thing we also don't really have is like a location for storing anything back in through here again either, which doesn't matter much, to be honest. Like the actual storage, we can do all that when we start to claim the downstairs, rather than doing it up through here. I think I'll just leave everything just floating around. This is all stuff that can be claimed as well. There's a lot of things in through here. We've already got wood. What I might do is I might just set up a couple of basic workshops up this way. And so if we go in and go to workshops, and I'm going to start with the carpenter's workshop. So I'll just build one there. And next one I'm going to be building is workshops and the stone worker. Just hide the planner. All right, so we've got the nether cap logs, which I think are in here. And there's tunnel tubes there. These have all been claimed. I'll just go and get the stuff that we probably want to actually have access to. I'll claim everything that's in here. This is all for trading. It's all just left here. We'll claim all of this stuff. Yeah, there's all clothing. There's all sorts of stuff in here. All right. Well, we can sort of we can really get started with a lot of stuff right from the very, very start, which is really quite nice. Okay, let's just follow the military down. So we'll just go and we'll just watch the military from the top and just watch as they start to do things. There we go. Military is now wandering off. Go for Tail Sly Fox. He seems to be the fastest one. So we'll just follow him down, wandering down through the actual fortress, through here, and this is now one big room. So there's no other access point through this area. So let's now go to the next one down and see what else we can find. So we've got this area we come into, and that is the bottom of the fortress. We'll just go and reclaim these doors. And that's actually completely closed as well. All right, so how do we get across to the other? So that's the bottom. There's nothing else down there, is there? Like, we're not seeing anything else below that level, so that's as far as we can go. Oh, hang on, we've got this. That was the layer below. Why didn't I see that before? Then we've got these different things that need to be reclaimed. There's a door there. So this next layer down has got the stairs that then lead up. All right, so we can start to expand into here. These are metalsmith's forges again. There's going to be a lot of them down this way. These have all got anvils as well, so we've got access to different things. All right, let's go back in and get our military to station down in here. Here they come. And so we're seeing, and there could be still creatures hidden down in here. Just claim all of the doors that we see. Not that it really matters that much, but it just so that we know that we've sort of been down this way. Wow, there's lots of stuff in here. Lots of statues. That looks to be the end of the map, but we're not seeing the edge there. So we'll just go and get these guys to station down in here. And I'll just do this. They should now move off that way. Yep, so that's the end of that area there. This is their bedrooms. So we're now finding the bedroom layer. This is often where you'll find the if there's something, I forget how this thing fell. Was this the rock that attacked this location? One thing we could do is actually look at the history of what we have through here. So this is all bedrooms. We might as well just make use of what they've got. And then just see how things go. So as we find different things, it's saying that we're finding it through mining, but that's not the case. So we've got different large. Now these can't be worn by dwarves. I'm just going to go back up the top of the fortress and make some beds. So we have got all this loot that we found. There's a cave swallow that doesn't matter. Let's go and get our military again. Oh, here we go. That's what I wanted. I'm just going to go and click on OK and pause. So it says we found it here. We found it here. Metalsmith Forges. This is new again. This isn't way in the bottom of the map. This is miles away. God, this is going to be massive. Yeah, look at all of the rooms that we've now found. So in reality, we don't have to do much actual mining other than to get what we need. It goes right to the very bottom of the map. This is right at the very. If you look at this thing through here, there's a lot going on here. Yeah, we're digging this now. I do actually have already with DF Hack. I've got DF Hack. If I go into the control panel, I've got things like auto farming. Oh, hang on, it's not on. Enabled. That should have been on. I'm just going to put on auto clothing, auto farming, auto. Why is that not wanting to do it? Hang on. DF Hack control panel. This one should automatically manage the crop selection. It's not turning on for some reason. I'm not sure why. Auto milking, auto nest box, auto shearing, auto slab. A lot of these things are quite handy. Clean owned. Turn on seed watch as well, just so we don't sort of waste them. Turn on Tailor. A lot of these things actually just help to with the fortress. But now the auto, why isn't auto farming working? Auto farm has been turned on. This is all the stuff that should be turned on when we start. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Auto farm. Just press enter. It says auto farm is stopped. Not sure why. I'm not sure why auto farming is not working. Maybe that we don't have an actual location, like a stockpile. That may be it. Just trying to think of other reasons that it may not be wanting to do things. Everything else should be okay there. Now, in terms of the big cavern, we are now starting to sort of see areas through here. And then we can come back up through here again as well. Let's just go and restation in here. We can still get through these unclaimed doors. There's beds. We'll claim that one. There's a lot of furniture in here. Let's get a couple of beds established. All right. One pause again. Actually, no, we're still going to try to find this location, weren't we? No, we didn't do this one. How did we find the big, expansive cavern? As I go back down, I'm not seeing anything else in there. It's like it's found a cavern somewhere else, but we just haven't located it, other than this first cavern. So I'm not sure what it's finding. Let's just unpause. Here comes the military. Oh, you've discovered a deep pit. Okay, so the expansive cavern was there. Deep pit. There it is. There it is. Okay. Now, wildlife, we've got blind cave ogres and one eagle. So they're down in here, so we have to be careful. This is actually a bottom layer. There's some water for us, which we did need to find. So we've got 3 of these blind cave ogres all together. And then up through here we have one eagle. Let's see how we find this particular pit. So this one is actually before we get there. Aha. So we've actually dug through here, which is what we sort of don't want to be doing in reality at this stage. I just wanted to locate where this one was. So let's go and get rid of those. And God, we don't want that chopped as well. Why has that been set to chop? Oh, because we're mining it. So we definitely don't want to be coming into this layer at all. We need to get something in to block this off as fast as possible, because the cave ogres are not that far away. So we'll just go and establish this one now. It's at a dark pit, which normally means that it goes deeper than what we're seeing through here. So we'll just go and block this one off. So just go into constructions, walls, nether cap logs from the top. Okay, that'll do. Just keep an eye open for this one to see if any cave ogres come through. Oops, here they come. Now, what are you doing? Construct building. Got it. Phew. Just in time. Just in time. Actually, sorry guys, I'm actually I'm just going to go back and I didn't set up all of my screen the way it was before. And I better then have a look at some of the comments. Okay, we've got that one through there. And what else do I need to bring up? I think that's it. I think we're done. Right. So, just reading a few of the comments in through here. Actually, I'll just grab myself a drink of water. Be right back first. I left my glasses. I wouldn't be able to see anything if I didn't have these on. All right, let's read a few of the comments here. So, okay, Sick is saying, I'll give those points to someone who doesn't have points and wants one if that's a thing. Oh, no, look, what I'll do is, like we've got a fairly big, long list of people anyway that are going to be the next ones in. I'll keep on I've got like, how many have we got? I'll just go through the list of people who are waiting for names. Here is it. Oh, it's this one here. Sorry, it's this Legends Viewer one. If I go back to Twitch, this is our list of names. So we've got Massey, Space Pants, Began, Vinyl Rabbit, Zaradin, Tailsly Fox is already in, so I'll give you yours back. Friday Shio and Sick, you don't need yours either. So we've got a fair few waiting to come in. So when the migration wave hits, I'll certainly be making use of those. Okay, we'll read a few more of the comments. Great Man Walking saying the irony of the unnamed dwarf being Private Joe in the military. Yeah. So Sick is saying, hope this fort is crazy. Well, it won't be as crazy as it could be because we're not actually in an evil biome. But it's it's certainly reclaiming these fortresses can be fairly easy unless there's something hidden inside, and then it becomes a problem. Do we know whose fort it was? We'll find out. Actually, we'll do that in just a minute. There we go. Tailsly Fox is saying, I'm 49 years old. There we are. And Kidfold is saying, I tried this game, bounced off it after 35 minutes and got a refund. I played RimWorld, instantly clocked 1,100 hours, didn't play it again. Funny, what's your advice for getting into this? People say it's legendary. Oh, it is legendary. It's... Okay, RimWorld was heavily inspired by Dwarf Fortress. So Dwarf Fortress was the first of these sorts of games that really came out and did a great job of it. RimWorld is also brilliant. Like, it's just absolutely excellent. RimWorld is like to a lot of the things that the Dwarf Fortress does well. RimWorld does well as well. Like in terms of the random the random world building. It's unbelievable. Like, and RimWorld doesn't go anywhere near as deep as what this game does. This is probably the deepest of any sort of world building type games that you'll ever see anywhere. And so by that I mean, like, when we generated this world, and we've only just really sort of been starting this particular world now, and I do want to go in and have a look to see what's actually happened with this fortress. So it's like in RimWorld, what it does is it builds a vague world. It populates it with different civilizations, and then you sort of play in a location which has got it's random when you go into it. RimWorld is not random when you go into it. If we have a look at the actual map of where we're playing, so this is the actual map that was generated when we generated the map, and I actually started off with just generating maps because I just loved what actually happened with it. Like, and so I find the map generation incredible. So we are playing right here. This is our fortress which we've reclaimed. This is a dwarven fortress of Lance Sounded. And when we have a look at it, we can sort of see that it's, we're in a mountain, and there's going to be all sorts of things that were set up before the game started. Even how deep magma might be, and that will all be related to these volcanoes. So I'm expecting the magma to be fairly high in this location. I think we'll find the actual, the magma layer at a fairly high level, simply because we can see all these volcanoes up through this other side. So it models it doesn't just model this overworld, it actually models down through depth as well, with different sorts of minerals. There's mineral veins, there's all sorts of stuff, and it all makes sense. Like if you've got like a major river, for example, that runs through a location, you'll find limestone and stuff like that where the sediments have actually drained in off the mountains. There's even weather patterns that will inform based on what actually does go on. It's just so clearly defined. The only other game that I think comes close to that sort of aspect is Shadow Empire, which does it with random planets. But in this case, that also then takes into account the wind blowing, moisture and rainfall and what that does for growth and stuff like that. This is a bit the same. So this one sort of does the same sort of thing as well. So it has precipitation areas. So you end up with things like, for example, there'll be deserts in different locations, depending on the water that will blow in off different locations. It's just incredibly deep in terms of its world building. If you then let it run for any length of time, you can then go down a real deep rabbit hole. And so if we wanted to find it, we've reclaimed this old fortress of Lance Sounded, and I can't remember what actually happened with this location. If I go to news and rumors and then go and click on it, we'll see. No, it's still not giving me anything. We've got basic information where there's things that have happened in through here. There's if we have a look, we're still not seeing anything at all because we've literally just sort of started. But there we go. We know there's a rumor over here. So in 299, Monum partner Sabres was kidnapped from complex pages by No Gang tamed monsters. So there's actually something where there's been a dwarf that has been kidnapped from this particular location by, looks like a goblin. So a goblin has stolen that particular one in the previous year that we actually are. There's a few up through here as well. The early spring of 300, so A-tier Seartone became the sacred spine of the Murky Iron Creed, replacing a Leacott paddle wheel. That could be a religious group, could be a criminal organisation. So we can sort of have a look at these things, and this is where the legends, by exporting the legends out, we get to see different things. So this one here, we got in 300, Rico Utterbeard became the mayor of the Flag of Vegetation in the early spring of 300. Kavir Flair Bridle became expedition leader of the Flag of Vegetation. In the early spring of 300, a group calling itself the Flag of Vegetation reclaimed Itchlashes on behalf. Okay, that's interesting. So this actually, if we go back in reverse order, that was the other one that we could have claimed. No, it was over here, wasn't it? Okay, so somebody else has claimed. So this one here was just claimed as well. So we've got a group that's actually just gone in to reclaim a fortress there as well at the same time that we're reclaiming ours. Over through here in the early spring of 300, Zon Bolt Focuses became Holy Funeral of the Ashen Creed, replacing Cog. So this is actually, again, where there'll be something will have happened here where there'll be like a religious group. But let's go and focus. We'll focus on ours in just a minute. So this is Lance Sounded. But we also then have, what was the other one that was interesting there? The Murky Iron Creed. So we've got the Murky Iron Creed. So let's find out what the Murky Iron Creed is. Now, if I don't export the legends out, I can't actually go to them, but I can go across to here. I've now got the legends mode in through this other location. So if I go back in, and I always struggle to find my way in around here, if I go and click on the map, I can then sort of zoom into the different locations. And this is Lance Sounded here. So if I go and click on that one, and go to the location for Lance Sounded. Actually, before we do that, where was the other one? I'm not sure if that was the Mountain Hall there. Actually, where was it? If we go back to here again. This is Itchlash. No, this one was Treaty Stirred. So it's just up and to the left of where we are. So Treaty Sturt is actually where that actually occurred. There's different ways of finding it, but if we just go back across into here, I was seeing the wrong one. So Treaty Sturt, no, Ross. So we're here. It must be further up. Chamber names, the monastery. Treaty Sturt, there we go. So if we go into this location, so this is before the game even started. We now actually can see what's actually happened at this particular location. There's been 32 beast attacks, 54 notable deaths back into this other side as well, with everything that's going on, and all these different events. So we've got heaps and heaps of events that occurred. Like there's so just this one location, which has got nothing to do with us. We've got like events way back through here. Events of like in the year 300, which is when things were happening. I don't think I can click on that one to go through there, but if I can go to the end of all the different events. So there's 1,600 events at this location, which we don't even play in. So if we just go back to the back end of this, different dwarves started becoming tavern keepers, settled in Treaty Sturt. Scale of Woods was authorised by the dwarf and through here. The Hood of Twilight, no, that's not it either. So we're not finding who that group is. These are the chronicles, the different sorts of things that actually happened with different thefts that occurred over the course of their history. Forgotten beast attacks. So they've got 47 of those sorts of events. They've got different structures inside their city. I did want to find out what that group was, just because these are the different beast attacks. So we've got like different forgotten beasts, cyclops, forest titan, trolls, and cyclops in through there again as well. Actually, there's heaps, heaps of attacks, but they still live on. They still survive. Who was it that was? What was the groups? If we go back to society, factions and groups. What was it called again? Let's have a look and see what it was. This was the Murky Iron Creed. So if we look for Murky Iron Creed, this is such a rabbit hole. Murky, there we go. It's a religious group. So this is the Murky Iron Creed is a religious group of dwarves. There were 68 events with this particular group. Doesn't sound like they did all that much. So the Sacred Spine is the leader. We can see where it actually is. The location of the Murky Iron Creed on the world map is back up through here. They worship and again, even the deities are actually randomly generated. And so this is the dwarven deity, the Glowing. So this one is the god of earth, caverns, mountains, volcanoes, and fire. And all our dwarves will actually follow one of the different gods. Even forgotten beasts can become gods, or anything at all that becomes super powerful can become a god that the dwarves will follow. So you'd have to be a little bit sort of careful in through there. But it's then got essentially everything that actually did happen. Like the group formed in the year 74, and so we've had 300 years of history. But again, all these different dwarves, end up sort of doing different bits and pieces. Let's go back to ours. If we go back to the world again, and just go back into, so this is from before we settled. So if I go into, where was it? Here. So Lance Sounded. Let's just see the history of what happened at Lance Sounded. There were 2 battles, 1 beast attack, 21 notable deaths. So deaths by race. This is actually the different groups. So there were 21 dwarves died. We had 1 elf die. We had 1 human die. We're not seeing any goblin deaths. And then there was dogs. They had camels, grizzly bears, cave swallows, giant bats. So a Cretosaurus, Carnosaurus, giant ravens, Altosaurus, jaguars, giant something or others. I can't read what's underneath those things in through there. And if we have a bit of a look and see what actually then happened with this one. So the site was created in 98. So the Fence of Drinks founded Lance Sounds. The initial dwarves settled there in 98 as well. So we've just got a fair few information about the dwarves that actually came. Now in the in 98, they actually created the blockaded kegs, which is it's a market. So they created a market there somewhere. That will be somewhere underground, which we hopefully will find. So that, I don't know if that will actually be an actual structure. Then they created well construction through here, the teal dye halls. So this is actually a well construction. We can have a look at these ones as well. This is another well construction through here, the blameless ways. This is, I think, a road. I think it may be the road. Was sort of, this way. Yeah, these are roads. So they can construct these, the tidal halls connecting K-Trot and Lance Sounded, and they also connected it up with Lance Sounded and Rainy Crafts. That's the roads that we see on the underground. So that's actually was then built. Another one, the way of entries, connecting Axe Siege with Lance Sounded. So they've been building under the mountains with this. And again, it's just so, this is all in 98 when they first got here. In 99, another dwarf came and settled in there. So we're getting all the actual history. Then more roads being built, more dwarves settling in 102, for example. Then in the early spring, one of the Harvest the Past Morns was authored by the elf. So an elf came and actually visited and then wrote this incredible book, Harvest the Past Morns. This is a book that will live somewhere in the world. Someone will have this book. It could still be lost down below in our fortress. Who knows? It's just incredible. So anyway, then it's got the... there was a site dispute in 108. The equal arrow of flight planks and the early lancers became embroiled in a dispute over grazing rights. Now, who's this group? This is a group, a site government of dwarves. And so these are another mountain hall. So another mountain hall actually ended up having a problem. This is part of the Fence of Drinks, and this is also part of the Fence of Drinks. So there was actually a quarrel over grazing rights between two different fortresses. One must be close by, I guess. Written content composed. So this one here is again authored by the elf. Same guy. Must be living with the dwarves, and he now wrote the complex trusses and harvests. So again, he must be very, very like if we go back to this particular character, this is an elf. He is was struck down by a cyclops in 196. Anyway, legendary speaker, so legendary poet, so incredible poet and leader in through here. And he would have authored a lot of different sorts of things. So we can even go to his history if we're so interested. But let's not do that. Let's just go back to this one. So in this case, we've got written content composed by... Ghoul Domestic was authored by another elf in Lance Sounded. Sugars and Bars was authored by a goblin, so a goblin came in to here as well. Written content composed. So my friend Bodices... by the same elf in through this other side. So again, these guys are all sort of creating a culture and history around where we are. So again, more things being written. So there must be like a library or something that was established, but normally it would tell you if that was the case. Another the Poisoned Breeds by Goblin, also authored there. So in 110 midwinter, the Sienna Geysers, so which is a group of humans, attacked the early lancers. So this is actually in through here of the Fence of Drinks at Lance Sounded. Leader of the attack was the dwarf Mozub Theatre Circle. So a dwarf was leading this group of humans. So this is a small group of humans. And so they actually, Moma's Theatre Circle, you can see, died in 116, so 6 years after this. And the defenders were led by the dwarf Zaysit Paddlechuck. So this is the former militia commander of the early Lancers, again died in 117. So during the Siege of Talons, as part of the Assaulted War. So the Assaulted War was between the Sienna Geysers and the Fence of Drinks, and it lasted for, 18 years. So a long, long war. The Siege of Talons was the actual battle that actually occurred at this particular location. Anyway, they survived the attack, and so you can see down different things happen during this particular attack. The dwarf Onal Beertrade was struck down. So what's he part of? He's the mayor of the early Lancers. So this is actually, the mayor is actually struck down by the humans, or by the human group. So he was down. Meng Veiled Halls, which was this was the dungeon master of the early Lancers. So these were all old nobles. There's other dwarves that come in. These are just the notable dwarves that we sort of see coming in initially. Then we have Stukos Banner Thunders. The dwarf, this one here was struck down by a dog. So this was actually by a dwarf, by a goblin. So the goblins were attacking with the humans at this location. Here's a dog that actually hit this particular group, captain of the guard of the armory of barbarians. This one here will be, the dog must have been from, they would have been attacking back. So she was the captain of the guard of the armory of barbarians, which I'm not sure, if we go and have a look at even what her history is, former captain of the armory of barbarians, which was, actually, no, it's still part of, I'm not sure where she's come from. Yeah, I'm not sure where she come from, but anyway, she was fighting on our side. Then we have another one died in through here, was struck down by a dog. So it looks like they had war dogs that attacked as well when they did the attack. We can actually go and have a look at the Siege of Talons and just sort of see what actually happened. So this is, the attacker was the Siena Geysers. They had no deaths. The defender had 9 different deaths occur. So this was actually deaths by race, was all just goblins in through here. No dwarves. There was also goblins and dogs that were in part of this particular attack, and we then get to see again all of the detail through here. So that's that one through there. Again, looks like the only people that died in that particular attack were the inhabitants. Now in 110, the site was then taken over. So the Siena Geysers defeated the early Lancers and took over Lance Sounded. So they actually claimed it. So now the group of humans, the bandits, are now in control of it, I guess. So this is during the first conquest as a result of the Siege of Talons and as part of the Assaulted War. So the first conquest is just going through what actually happened here again with the different sorts of things that actually occurred for that particular war. So anyway, we'll just keep on sort of having a bit of a look. So I'll just keep on going through. Different people then died, was hacked to pieces. So these were executions, I think, after the actual attack was settled. Then we start to sort of see different things. So the dwarf Lisat, construct author, was former master of the Yellow Quicknesses, settled during the first conquest. So these are the new people now moving back in. Here we go. We've got in the midwinter, the dwarf Zas Gazink was brought back from the dead by the human necromancer Viku in Lance Sounded. Now that's in the same day. So I'm thinking that the group that actually attacked us, well, they must have had a necromancer with them. So they've actually attacked in through here. This is what I mean. There's just so much in this that goes on through here. And then 6 years later, we then end up getting the human scoop board settled in here as well. Again, it's only the notables we actually hear about through this one. During the second conquest in Plank Margin as a result of the Riddled Siege, as part of the conflict of mobbing. And so this is, again, the Siena Geysers is now attacking a group called the Kingdom of Trusting. The Riddled Siege, what was that? So goblins, dwarves, and dogs. A lot of dogs died. 3 dogs and 2 goblins. The attacker was the Siena Geysers. So yeah, that's, again, something a bit different. Anyway, we'll continue on. Another one was brought back to dead by the human necromancer Viku. So this human necromancer must have settled in where we are. So, which is interesting. So again, a lot of these guys brought back from the dead in 116 by this human necromancer. It's still not, we're not in, like, we can find out what happened to Viku. And there's Stukos, the one that we were looking at before, the captain of the guard. So she was, like, 6 years later, she gets brought back as from the dead by this human necromancer. So Stukos, through this other side, if we have a bit of a look at it, so former captain, I can actually have a look to see what she was, a legendary trapper. And then we've got, she had a child, former overlord, okay, skilled swordsman. These are all people, like former baroness of the Fence of Drinks. So these are all her children. And they all died, so they're all dead. But we can actually just keep on having a bit of a look at the whole family tree from what she was. But there's There's a baroness somewhere that was actually one of her kids. So she died age 58. Anyway, she gets struck down by a dog, but then she does come back to life, and I don't think it sort of shows her life as a zombie. Anyway, that's sort of we just go back, have another quick look. Just love the depth that they have. In 118, we end up you have this different attack. In 119, the human started working through here, so the humans have really sort of taken it over. Structure was created, so we've got the constructed the grooved fortress, which is a keep. So they've actually now made a keep in here in the year 119. So this is actually the kingdom of trusting, which is a civilization of humans. So they've actually now come back in. That's the site government of humans. So the humans have now created a keep here. So they've converted the old fortress into a human keep. Okay, then we have a dwarf. So in the dwarf, Sarvesh spiral portal, a male dwarf, died a year later actually. So died in the year 120. Visited Lance Sounder to gather information. So this will be either some sort of spy or criminal. In 120, the Rock, Taitlosh, attacked the World Coalition, and sort of in 120 as well. So we have a lot of things happening in 120. The dwarf Sarvesh, the same one through here, was struck down by the Rock. Who is this character? This is the different group that we sort of see in through here. Yeah, so he's actually got people that come off. Ultimately, there's a necromancer that's part of his family group as well. Okay, interesting. I'm not sure what his groups are. Former member. Okay, this is site government of dwarves. Unseen relic. All right, so this is actually the group that we're from. So it looks like he was actually maybe a spy that was actually sent there, but the Rock killed him, so he didn't get to fulfill his mission. So it killed him when he got there. Okay, another human was struck down by the Rock. We've got another something destroyed in through here. The Rock routed the World Coalition, destroyed Lance Sounder during the first rampage. So this now becomes a ruin at this point in time. So at this stage, the Rock has now finished. So this is the first rampage of the Rock. If I just go back into this one through here, yeah, we should then. It's all just happening in through there. So yeah, in the mid spring, Tatlosh, which is the Rock, settled in Lance Sounder, and so it actually ends up having her nest built in here. So the keep has now become a nest with what actually happened in there. Artifacts stored. So in 136, Tooth Grip, the Flickering General. This is a bracelet, was stored by the Rock. So the Rock actually has gone off and looted this from somewhere else and brought it back to start to establish her hoard. So we've got the start of a hoard here. Tooth Grip, the Flickering General, which is an artifact bracelet, which may still be here. We may still find this. If we go and have a look at this one, and just to see the last event of this one. So this was actually created in Scream Fiend in a dark pit. So the goblins created this thing. Actually a dwarf that was working for them, or working with them. Now I don't know how the dwarf got there. Could have been abducted. Who knows? Could have been taken over. Anyway, the dwarf did actually create this particular bracelet. So different people have then sort of claimed the actual bracelet through here, and then finally in the if we just go back again, it just got all this different sorts of stuff. In the late summer, Tooth Grip, the Flickering General, was stolen in Axe Siege by the Rock, Tatlosh. So that's the very last entry. So actually no, there's still one more. Okay, Tooth Grip was made a family heirloom by the Rock, and during the rampage. Is that Rock still alive? Yes, it is. Okay. So we're now getting into the realm of spoilers. So in the late summer, Tooth Grip, the Flickering General, was stored by the Rock in Lance Sounder during the first rampage. Let's have a look at Tatlosh. We'll just go back to Lance Sounder. Is this, yeah, this is land sounded here. So let's go back in now and just see Tatlosh, the female rock. She may have moved on. We don't know. And we have all these different civilizations. We don't see too. We see a little bit through here, like around the year 178. Do we want to look at spoilers, or do we want to see if we just find her? She's got a lot of events. Maybe we'll just see if she ends up finding it there. She's rampages to another location here, Post-Brushed, which was a fortress. Brush Standard, another fortress. I don't know if she settles down there. She's got a lot of kills, like a hell of a lot of kills. All right, let's go back to our history. We don't know if the rock is still living there or not, but there was an artifact in here somewhere. So that's actually there we go. So Reinhardt's saying Kingdom of Trusting sounds sus. It does indeed. So then we've got a battle event. So in 149, the elf confronted the rock. So actually, the rock, this is Torquay Bravegleans. This is a different one. Torquay is here. There we go. There's a talented biter, which is Tatlosh. So Tatlosh is the talented biter and had 3 children. And so that's actually what her skills are as this rock, is a talented biter. And then so Torquay Bravegleams is her baby. Is a male rock. So so they've been nesting here. So this is in 149. So we've got the elf was killed. So coming into this ruin. It then continues on. Item was stolen. There we go. The quartzite in 151. Quartzite bracelet was stolen in Brush Standard by the rock Torquay. Okay, and brought to Lens. Okay, we've got another bracelet here. So this is what is it called? We don't know. It should, if it's an artifact, it should have a name. Anyway, it's the rocks are bringing more things in. In 160, the dwarf confronted the rock Tatlosh again. So the original was struck down by Tatlosh. In 172, a large rat gut meat was stolen okay, so this is not legendary stuff, by Tatlosh and brought back there to eat. Okay, that's fine. So these are just little history snippets that we see. In 183, now we're in the year 300, so it's a long time ago. Libash confronted and was struck down. In an item was stolen. The fondled executioner. This is an artifact, a weapon artifact. So we can look for these things. It was looted in Lance Center by the rock Tatlosh. Now it's already looted here. There's more histories with this one. Current holder is a dwarven necromancer. So this one here is it's a crossbow. So it's already actually, let's go back to the previous one and just see, where was it? Where did they bring the first thing in? Tooth grip, the flickering general, which is the bracelet. Now this is stored at the site Landsounded, so it's still here. So it's still here, and it was created by Cyril Prickbeard. So that one hasn't gone off, but the other one did. So this one, this particular, the fondled executioner, was stored by the rock in Landsounded, but somehow this dwarven necromancer, Onal Guilt Drilled, has gotten hold of it, and is now where we cannot see it on the map where that's actually located. Anyway, there's an artifact crossbow that gets stolen from here, I guess. So in the early autumn, the fondled executioner there was recovered by the dwarf Vukar Mine Order in Landsounded during the first journey of the dwarf. This is actually like where he's actually now gone and done some adventuring, and has actually been stolen back. So they've stolen this artifact. They found the artifact and got away. So Vukar, this she's a beast hunter dwarf, and she's actually been able to escape in the year 191, and somehow she's then, through misadventure, lost the crossbow, and it's ended up with a necromancer. There we go. It's just again incredible. Dwarf in 208 was confronted, struck down. The canyon seduced the sickness of torment, which was pants. Some artifact genes were stolen by the rock and brought back. Now, who owns that? No one. It's still here. So we've got some pants which are not going to fit anyone, but they are artifact pants. So we've got some big artifacts in through here. So it was then stored. Stealing catgut meat. Back through this other side. Okay, another dwarf confronted it in Lance Sounded. Back in through here. This is all Tatlosh again. Looks like the other rocks may have now left the nest or the roost or whatever it's called for a rock. In 241, we're getting closer now. So Flax declines. The escort of Laws was stolen in Postbrush by the rock Casper. Okay, this is one of her children. So they are still operating together. There may be a heap of them, and no one's just found this one either as well. This one is just a scepter. So we have a artifact scepter through here again as well. This gives us something to play with when we a bit of a mission to find these things. And then it was stored there as well. And so we're nearly at the end now. And then different things actually then happened here. So in 251, another dwarf was confronted. So different dwarves are now sort of coming back through. Were struck down by the rock, Tatlosh. So we've got Nello Yell Rivers, which is another male rock, which was born in 207. There must be more of her kids. And again, we've got, even in 296, so 4 years before, Dishmab, mine hero, confronted the rock, Torquay Brave Gleams. I'm now a bit worried. I'm a little bit concerned. I'm a bit concerned about this rock or these rocks. It's not just one. Looks like there's multiple. This is actually looks to be their lair. And so Torquay Brave Gleams was the mum, wasn't it? No, that's one of the kids. So Meta Jump Skunk, the Livid Mist. What's that? Another rock. Male rock. All right. So to put it into perspective, what a rock in Dwarf Fortress is essentially a flying forgotten beast, but it's a defined forgotten beast. It's a bit like if a Cyclops attacks, that's essentially a Titan. This is like a Titan. A Titan is an above ground forgotten beast, and a rock is essentially that. So we have a real problem here. How do we get around this? I think we're sharing this location with a group of rocks, and I think we need to contain this as best we possibly can. So I'll leave the legend view there, but you see this is one location. That's the history of one location which we happen to have taken over. So that's before we even got here. All that occurred. So before we even started playing our game, I exported the legends, and those legends came out from there. So there will be artifacts back in through here. If I go into the actual artifacts, these are the artifacts of the world, and so there's just heaps and heaps that have all been created over different times, and there will be some of these other ones that we sort of saw there as well. I can do an alt search for these as well, and we can see last held by. I forget what they were called. Some of these things. We can see different. Like the last time, and these cause wars. They cause all sorts of stuff. It's quite interesting. Again, there's so many different artifacts in through this other side. By the elf, I'm not sure. By an Etten. An Etten is sort of like a low level Titan. Rocks are not. Rocks are as dangerous as dragons. They don't have the fire breath, of course, but they can fly. So I think we've got a bit of a problem here. Let's just click on done. We need a plan. We need a plan. Now we've got the stocks that we actually have through here is we can sort of see different things in through this other side. But these are all the stuff we can sort of then go and find down through what we actually have. If we look at bracelets, there it is. There it is, guys. We got ourselves the. I think that's it. If we go across and have a look at this one. Yep, this is a bauxite bracelet. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. This object is adorned with hanging rings of limonite. On the item is an image of Kutznob, Evil Nourish, the goblin, and goblins in native platinum. Kutznob, Evil Nourish, is surrounded by the goblins. The artwork relates the ascension of the goblin Kutznob, Evil Nourish, to the position of Lord of the Pointy Scourge in the year 15. Now remember, this particular bracelet was actually created by a dwarf that was working for the goblins, had been taken over by the goblins, and so he's actually commemorating the actual ascension of the goblin to actually lead whichever location it was. It could have even been a dwarven location that was then taken over. So that was one of the artifacts that we sort of saw through here. So this one is right in here somewhere. Now we've already gone through here and we haven't found any rocks, because we actually went up to here. You know what I think we do? This is, where is that? This is, I think we actually block the bottom of the fortress off and assume, no, this is too dangerous. It's too dangerous. What was the other artifact that we had? We've got the justice, the objects menu. These are the loot from the. So these are artifacts that are all here. So we've got Canyon Seduced, the Sickness of Torment as well. So this is all in this one location. It's all in here. And so these are artifacts. This is large dwarf bone greaves. All craftsmanship is the highest quality. Is decorated with turkey bone, but it's an artifact. And we also then have this scepter as well. So Flax declines the escort of laws. So known as Lol, Astu Stod. So if we have a look at this one through here, this is also here as well. And we have a look and see what its description actually is. This is a basalt scepter. All craftsmanship is of the highest quality. It is encrusted with rectangular Sylvite cabochons and decorated with dingo bone and naked mole dog bone. This object menaces with spikes of hungry head bone. So this is the rock loot pile. All right, let's secure some of this stuff. The rocks could be anywhere. To get into this location, we had to come past the other locations. We've locked that one off. That's okay. As we come back up, we can't break out of this. Here's our guys wandering around doing exactly what we don't want them to do, because the rocks could be in any of these rooms. Right. We have to find how we can block these rooms off, keep as much loot as we possibly can, and sort of work forward from there. And we do that by putting up walls. Okay. All right, let's secure this now. So this is, I can look at this little mini map. I can see there's a door. There's an area through here that gets all blocked off if this is contained. So I can actually, I'm going to block off these, and then what we'll do is we'll end up sending one dwarf in at some point to actually go and open up room by room and have a bit of a look what's going on. There's another one there. So I can actually block off all of those rooms. I don't get to see where all of these come in. Now we've got a metalsmith forge up through there again as well. And another one there. These come back down into this location, but then it goes back up. These then go up into this location, which is self-contained. They then go down into here. This is actually all okay. So we need to try to now block off. Let's just start off with the areas that we know that we can block off. This is one of them. So that's going to be, let's just go and do this stuff now. Constructions, wall, and hopefully we can do this before any rocks actually come. Now we've got some alabaster blocks. We'll just bring them in from the top. So that's one block, and then we've got this one down in here as well, where we can just, and we won't know the rocks are there until we open the door, basically. So I'm glad we looked at that, because I would have just blundered in. And another alabaster block there. So that's now blocked off the bottom area there. That continues on and around in through this other side. Then we have up arrows into here, which I sort of want to keep this going. Yeah, this is dangerous in here. So this here is then locked off. If we block this off. All right, let's block that off. Still got nether cap logs, so we'll block that area off. And then we can just start to sort of try ultimately to isolate different areas. Now we've still got that down through there. We haven't been everywhere in here, but let's assume that the rocks, if they're hiding in the bedrooms. That's where the bad things live. Got that one blocked off. We haven't got this blocked off, and this looks like it somehow connects back and around. So we'll block this off in here. Constructions, walls. Okay, that's got that one. I think that's... Oh, hang on. Now, does any of the others open up? No, they don't. I think we're actually okay here because this is isolated. Like we can get into this bit anyway. I feel comfortable with that bit of it, to be honest. Actually, one thing I'll do while I'm just down in this other location as well is just come back into this and just do plump helmets for now. I'll just keep them going. All right, okay, so that sort of is now going to get those things done. I'll just remove that. All right, I'm glad that we looked at that. Yes, orangutan saying, imagine leaving your loot pile for a bit more looting and coming back to find a bunch of dwarves have walled it off. Rock fort, yeah, we're rich at least. Yes, we are. We are indeed. Now we have to protect this. By walling off the bedrooms, I think that's, well, we haven't done it yet, but that should go a long way to protecting what we've got. And then we can figure out what to do with the rocks. We can then go and start hunting for them. I'm going to turn off the military. So I'm going to now tell them to go back because I need everyone now working. So they're no longer... They're off duty now. Actually, one thing we didn't do is I do need to set them up so that they don't go back and reclaim. I'll just go back and tell them to keep on stationing. One thing I didn't do was actually set my military up properly. So if we have a look at their equipment, you can see there that everything was fine. Like it's all green buttons all the way through, which is great. So that's not a problem. If we go to the schedule, when they go to off-duty, essentially they're going to go to off-duty. What I want them to do is to stay on ready. So I'm just going to go and click on ready. So the routine is to be ready all the time for combat. So they're going to carry their stuff around with them. It'll slow them down a little bit, but at least they'll always be dressed and ready for operation, so that if I need them, they've already got all their stuff. Otherwise, they go and put it all away and then come back and then get changed back into it again. So that's important that we do that. All right, let's, actually, we do want to just now, with that one done, we'll just go back into here and just tell them that they're no longer on station. As long as the routine is ready, we're fine. So then they put their weaponry back. I now have to look out for any sort of attack coming back through. Let's wait until these guys have done what they have to do. We'll leave all the loot where it is. We won't touch it. See, the cave ogres are considered to be wildlife, but they're extremely dangerous. So I have turned wildlife on. Hi, Lucio Gaming. Sorry, I missed your comment from before. I missed a few comments while we were looking at those legends. So Mark Davis is saying, as a player, can you make roads to other settlements? I'm not sure, actually. And Josh is saying, I love how you're looking at all this history. It's incredible. The game is, that's why this game is just so special. It's not like, sorry, just pause again. I didn't really sort of answer that question about the about why this game is as good as it actually is. Everything makes sense. Like when we look at that history, which was before we even started playing, I could go to any location and find a similar sort of history. But in this case, we've got the context of what happened. We know that there's going to be other groups hunting for those artifacts as well. Like where those artifacts came from. There's that goblin fort that created that bracelet is going to want that back. That's still theirs. And so they will actually they will have like organizations that will go out and look for these things. So, and we have to be careful because do they have a legal claim on it? Yeah, they do. You know, like it's sort of one of these things where they certainly will feel they have a right to it. And so they may send criminals out to try to get it. You know, it's just, the game just gets so rich. And this is, again, where games, for example, like RimWorld's a great game, but it has got nowhere near the depth of what this game does with the actual histories. Even the fact that one of the artifacts was stolen, it doesn't really matter that much. But there's a necromancer out there somewhere with a piece of equipment that was here at one point. It's just astoundingly detailed. I just love you can really up the histories anywhere and get and start to in your mind just start to sort of think about how things are sort of then creating. Here we go. There's one done. That blocks off that group of where they are. Let's just go back to all the other groups. Have a bit of a look through here. That hasn't been done yet. That's been done now. That's good. So that one's now been set up. Good. Okay, there's no other way through there. Now, if a rock is in one of these rooms that we haven't been to, then we're in trouble. We're actually blocking ourselves in. Let's just go and wait for this one. Who's that character? Oh, that's Alpha Buffalo, right. Now, are you holding? Yep, holding an alabaster block. So this is actually one of our, it's Private Joe, coming in to block off this part of the fortress. All right, so we've now got that done. Was there any other areas we had to block off? Or are we done? That sort of keeps the... that goes down into there. Again, this is all blocked off. I think that was it. I think that's all we had to do. And we've got... This is locations that are deeper down. We never found out how to get to these. That's inside the area that we don't have access to. So this is the area above this. This is all bedrooms in through here. Even the bedrooms, what I could have done was actually blocked that off and isolated some of these bedrooms as well. We might do that when we start to expand. And if we have a bit of a look, we've then got the these different zones into here as well, like metalsmith forges everywhere. So we don't have access to any of this stuff, but this is actually where they were doing all their forging. And so this goes much, much further than what we thought as well. And again, these are all going back up into, it goes into the central bedroom layer. Is that the only way down? No, there's another one here that comes from the southern, this is the southern bedrooms into this other side. And then there's going to be potentially, we haven't seen all the other stuff in through here yet. There's another bedroom there as well. This is in the northern. So there's each bedroom layer has actually got an access point down. But we would need to literally go into every single one of these to see if we can find the rocks. It's really amazing. But that there is really, I just want to make doubly sure that all of these are completely blocked off. So if anything goes through that area there, we've got that blocked off as well. That's just great. So that's actually really, really cool. So we've got all that. We haven't got access to any of this stuff. Not yet, anyway. We can start to come back in at some point, but I think we've now secured this part of the fortress. Now I'm going to have to get going, guys. Unfortunately, I was hoping to play a bit more, a bit deeper into it. We're going to need to now set up our own fortress, and I do want to still secure the fortress as well of what we actually have. Like this is. So this is all complete. We don't actually. The only access we have into any of these bottom areas is through here, which sort of makes these areas in here the bottom, really the bottom of our fortress. So I think we actually, we block off some of this stuff. Actually, where are we? That's the bottom. Now, does this one? We've been everywhere down in here. There's nowhere else in here. So this is actually a good little location. This is all contained all the way around. I think we're secure now, except for this area of where the road comes in. This is now our weak point. So we'll just sort of keep things going, I think, in future. I'll keep this one open here because we'll need to now go and start to try to lock this off and make this one secure. We've been down here now. We can sort of see that the road goes all the way off the map. Haven't been all the way down here yet, but this is going to become a bit dangerous with the road. So we'll need to, of course, actually sort of have a way for the road to be controlled. So maybe some sort of way down through here where we start to sort of block it all off. But this is how wide is it? 6 wide by the looks of things. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 wide. Okay, so we've got 7 wide. We only need 3 wide for a caravan to get through. So we can actually put like drawbridges and things in through here once we lock all this off. We've got a lot of work to do. We've got a lot of mining to do as well. We are going to have to sort of start to try to get through it all. So Kujagrim saying this fighting over dwarven craftsmanship is similar to the Norglimmer from the Silmarillion. I don't remember that story actually. I didn't really like the Silmarillion when I read the Lord of the Rings so many times. But yeah, this is really interesting. We've actually now got access to all this loot. We just have to now secure it with the group that we actually have. Our dwarves aren't strong enough to take on this rock, by the way. If any of these rocks are there, our military won't be able to cope with it. So anyway, guys, I'm going to have to leave it here. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back again tomorrow. I think I'll probably end up playing this again tomorrow. This is I'm really inspired by this actual. The ruin we had last time was interesting, but now that we've got all this backstory, it's making this into like a real, like it feels like it's going to be a real epic with what we're going to ultimately be doing in here. So yeah, Greyman Walkinson, Silmarillion was released after Tolkien's death. So Sick was saying it was worth the time. Anyway, it's Because you were saying, yeah, that was the necklace the dwarves crafted for the elves, which had one of the Silmarils in it, but the dwarves liked it so. Oh, okay, kept it for themselves. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. Yeah, I do know that story. Yes. Anyway, guys, I'll be back again tomorrow, and then by the time I'll let it run a little bit once we sort of start to sort of get things building and so on and so forth. But we'll start to now also figure out how we're going to not make use of where the rocks live, and see how we go. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching.